What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Trading Learning 101. I have another technical analysis video for you guys. This is what we call a short squeeze on ticker symbol PSTV. PSTV intraday went from $8.50 all the way up to a high of $16.50. An $8 move in one day. Real quick, if we bring over FinViz, you always want to be checking the fundamentals on a stock that you're looking at or thinking about trading. PSTV, very, very key things I am about to point out right here. Its float is 0.44 million, half a million, under half a million shares. That's what we call a nano float. Super low float stock on PSTV. Also, another thing, short the float 51.9%. Pretty much 52% of the float was short, making the float even smaller to around 250,000 shares of the total float. And when you have a big number like this, a big percentage of the float short, and the stock has a big gap up like it did, you're going to have all these people that are short the float. They have to buy to cover their position, and then you have buyers, longs on top of it. It's like a double whammy for a stock, and that's when you could see a stock go absolutely berserk and crazy. This has happened before, and it'll happen again, and it'll happen again in the future. That's why you have to prepare, learn from this, so when it happens again, you are prepared and you could take advantage of the situation and get a very, very big payday. A day like this, what PSTV did, this one day could make a trader's whole year, all because they know what to look for. Over 50% short the float. If you take a look at this daily chart is not really tempting at all. It was consolidating for a long time from $10 up to $14, and then it cracked below $10 and just kept trending down and down to $4. Shorts just got in on it and just kept getting in and getting in. Remember, shorts make money when the stock goes down. When the stock goes up, they lose money. So when they're losing, in order to get out of their short position, they have to buy to cover their position. And recently, PSTV did a reverse split on August 6th, a 1-for-50 reverse split. 8 days later, this got a really, really big gap up. Traders seen it, kept buying it, shorts covering, and boom, this took off. Let's zoom in pre-market and look at this real quick. This is what the stock did pre-market. Just kept grinding its way all the way up to a high of $9.50. After it made that high at $9.50, this was in a descending wedge or a range from $8 up to $8.50, $8.75, and $9. Then right before the open, this thing just started creeping up over $8.50 and then blows up to $9.50 and then pulling back to this $8.50 area. All right here at the open, this was just back and forth from $9 up to $10. Back and forth. And then as soon as this thing broke up and above $10, it runs into a hole. When this thing opened back up, very, very volatile, and this thing just kept running into another hole, opening back up, slamming down, and then ripping all the way back up into another hole, topping out at $15 right here. And then right after 10:30, all the way up into the last hour of the day, this was in a very, very, very long descending wedge from $10, a big mental area, up to $12. Just back and forth let it trend all the way down, which it did right here. It finally bottomed right here, $10, and then rips all the way up, down to $10.50, back up to $12, back down to $10, up to $11.50, hanging around $11.50, flushes down back to $10, and then a very short range right here from 10 to 10.50, breaks up over 10.50 up to 11.50, and then slowly trends its way back down to this $10 level. Could not break below 10, and the last pretty much half hour of the day from $10, this just ripped all the way up to 16.50, pulled back to 14.50, rounding bottom, rips back up to highs at 16.50. And then minutes before the close, people took their profits, called it a day because it's Friday. People want to lock in their profits. They don't want to hold something like this over the weekend. Very, very crazy, wild day on PSTV here on a Friday, August 16th of 2019. I knew it before the market even opened. When I looked at the float, under 500,000 shares float, over 50% of the float was short. This thing was gapping up big pre-market from $4. Look at this. If I zoom out on the intraday, there's hardly no volume all right here. You could see nothing's going on with this stock all here. And then it just gets this big, big gap up. Look at all this volume come into it right here. Shorts all got to cover their positions. Buyers are coming into it. Like I said, it's like a double whammy. And when you got a double whammy with a stock that's a nano float, the percentage of the float is short, is high. This is an awesome short squeeze. And this happened before, I believe, with MBIO is just one of them. And there are other stocks that it happened to in the past. Very, very wild and crazy day. Even looking at this on the 5-minute chart, you can see this very, very big descending wedge. Comes up to the wedge, breaks out of the wedge right here, and then is just confirming support. Yeah, it is breaking back below with these long wicks, but it comes right back up, and off it goes, all the way up. And look at all this volume just come into it right here. Volume is sidestepping its way up. You could see volume is slowly just slowing down as the day goes on and on and on and on. You got to notice stuff like this. Patterns. That's what it's all about in the market. Noticing patterns, because that's what traders, groups of people like to look for, are patterns. PSTV was a very profitable stock, but you got to remember too, it was also a very risky stock too. At times on PSTV, it had a spread of 30 to 40 cents between the bid and the ask. And if you're just chasing a stock with a big spread like that, you could really, really blow your account up quickly. And if we also look at PSTV, this had a lot of flushes on it. Big, big flushes. Right here, right here, right here. All these big flushes on it. And these ain't no 25-cent flushes. These flushes are $1, $1.50, even $2. Very, very big flushes on this stock. With all of these red flushes that I have circled, how many big green giant candles do you really have? Besides this run up all right here, all I see is the stock just slowly grinding its way up. Slowly grinding up right here, grinding up here, grinding up right here, grinding up there, grinding right here. It really started to take off all right here, where it started to take off. But just a lot of grinding, like I said, but a lot of deep flushes on this stock. Like this one right here, a big flush from 1330 all the way down to 11.80, and then it runs into a halt, opens up, and then falls down to $11. Right here, from 11.30, flushes all the way down to 10.20, a dollar flush. So you gotta be careful on charts like this. They're having grinds up like this and flushing it. That you'll see this happen on a lot of low float stocks that have massive volume. The market makers will grind it all the way back up. The market makers, all right, good example right here. There's many examples of it on this chart. Stock puts in a high right here. Market maker will flush it all the way down, and then they'll slowly grind it all the way back up to the high right before they flushed it. And then they'll have it hang around before they flush it again. And then they flush it, and then it'll slowly grind its way all the way back up to where the high was, and then they'll flush it again. And then they'll slowly grind it back up to the high right there, and look it, they'll flush it again, and then they'll slowly grind it up, have it hang around, and then flush it again. Consolidation, have it slowly grind up. Here they didn't get a big flush out, but you see how these market makers like to do this? You'll see this happen a lot with low float stocks, so keep an eye out for that. If you see a stock that's a low float and it's going absolutely crazy, and you're seeing a big flushes like this, keep an eye on it. Let the stock flush out, and then watch it. Later on, the stock will slowly but surely just grind its way up, but then they'll flush it. That's when they make chasers pay. If people don't know what they're doing, they could really destroy their account if they're not careful. As traders, we don't make our money trading everything and every single day. We make our money waiting for our setups that we know and that we've seen many times, and that we've studied, and we've made the strategies our own. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the Trading Learning 101 community where we all grow as traders. That's going to be it for this one, guys. Until next time, have that patience, have that discipline, and study. Later, everybody.
The most valuable commodity I know of is information. Wouldn't you agree?